click the record button to make sure that I have it ready for YouTube and Rumble. And I apologize, y'all. So if you're watching this right now, you done missed the introduction. You can always go on the Facebook page, which the handle is down there, to actually watch the introduction of this. If you're watching this off Facebook right now, off YouTube or Rumble, you're watching this like just in the last maybe 20 seconds. I forgot to hit the record button like I always do because I'm too excited. But yeah, so today I got a special guest for me. We got these 3 questions. I was going to take the questions off the board, but we're just going to start right into them. She doesn't know my point of views. I don't know her point of views. We're just going to kind of talk because I'm assuming that from these topics, we might agree on something, we might not, but we can kind of have a discussion and a debate from there. So, yeah, I appreciate y'all for being here, and show love, man. Support the channel. Definitely go add us on all social media platforms, and let's just keep on rocking. So today's first question, and I'll give it to Hafiza to answer this, and then that's when I'll come in and I'll answer it. So the first question is it okay to start watching a new show without your spouse? Yeah, I'll give this to her, and then we just kind of go from there.
It all depends on what the show is. Like, if it's like a girly show, I don't think your spouse is going to want to start watching it with you. But if it's like some action series that's coming out or something with some type of good drama in it and y'all both was discussing it first together, then no, you shouldn't start watching it without that person.
Okay. I honestly, I do agree. I think if you guys start off watching a show together, then y'all should continue watching it. Now, when it comes to new shows, I don't know. See okay, all right. So here's my logic, and play devil's advocate on both sides a little bit. So, new shows, because you have some shows that you might like to watch. Like if this is your spouse, it's somebody you know their genre, you know what they love. Not to say that they're not open minded to it, but I'm thinking that they actually have things that they like. You know what I'm saying? So let's just say it's a new animation that's out and the guy likes that, or if it's a new drama love show, something like a Tyler Perry show. Most guys don't sit around watching Tyler Perry shows. There's gonna be a few in there that actually do. So it's like if you were to start a new show doing that, then I don't think it would necessarily be a problem unless it's something that you guys were to talk about. So I guess it depends. If it's something that your spouse likes, then yeah, I think then you definitely don't want to start a new show without that conversation. But if it's something that she doesn't necessarily worry about or he doesn't necessarily worry about, I think it's okay. I don't think there's a problem with that, right?
Yeah, if it's a new show, that's fine. But if it's like something that y'all probably both started together, then no, you shouldn't watch it unless you get bored and you just want to watch the show, and then you might have to just tell your spouse you didn't watch it, and then you just gonna have to double watch it when they come back.
Well, yeah, I've done that. I've definitely done that. I've watched shows and then I turn around and act like I ain't ever watch it because I couldn't wait. It's like, yeah, I've done that too. So I can't fault anybody if they do that to me, which would suck. But
especially if the last episode was like a good episode and you can't wait until the next one.
Okay. All right.
Well, they might be at work and then they don't come home till late at night or something like that. You might be asleep. No, you want to watch that show. So I don't know. It all depends on what the show is.
Right. Yep. It depends on if your spouse likes it or not. That's actually a good one. But yeah. Oh, sorry, y'all. Time flies when you having fun. Okay. All right. Well, I can understand that. I think we kind of both agree that it's not okay to watch a new show without your spouse, depending on what type, unless it depends on the type of show that it is, and yeah, it depends on the type of show. That's all. And if it's talked about, because if it's talked about, especially if you started watching a new show and it has seasons, like the season ended and then a new season came out, but your partner is busy, I don't think it's good to watch it. I think you actually do. It's probably better if you just wait for your partner, and then you be like, hey, listen, this new season came out. You want to start watching it, and then you start watching it with them. Don't sneak behind their back and just start watching it and shit. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. All right, so let's go to the next question. All right, the next question. Can a marriage survive long term without sex? You want me to start?
I'll let you start off.
You want me to? I can start it. I can start it off.
They know the answers to everything anyway.
Listen, are you asking the majority or the minority? I think honestly, okay, all right. So because I'm trying to make this like a general question. But before I make it general, if you're asking me per se, I say that hell no. Hell no. Men love to jump into the box. In my opinion, I think, now I'm speaking general. If you ask me personally, I said no. I don't think that a relationship will survive long term, especially a marriage will last long term without like sex. It won't. I don't think it will. So now if you're asking me in general, I think men love to do it. You do have men that are probably not too much into it, but I think there's more guys that would love to be intimate than not be intimate. So wait, hold on. Why do men get married? You think they get married for anything other than the box?
Some of them might be forced into it.
Some of them might be forced into it. Really? I don't know. That's damn. No. I don't think the marriage would survive though, honestly, and especially on the guy's point of view, because it's like the guy already has to bring other values and all of that. I think guys do all of these things in order to be able to get intimate with the woman. So it's like once they get that, it's like, oh, this is mine now. So now if I commit to you and I'm in a marriage with you and I'm not getting that, I don't know. I don't really see the relationship lasting. What do you think to that? Like,
this might be the one that I'll have to agree with you on. I don't think that a marriage can really survive long term without being intimate with your partner. Unless you like 90 years old. It's like
no, that's true. That's true. Yeah, if you're an old ass mother, it'll last. It'll definitely last because he can't get it up and you ain't getting wet no time soon. So
dry.
You dry. He limp. It works perfectly because now we just going on cruises and sitting and watching you in the garden while I'm taking a nap under the gazebo. Like we good, So I think a marriage. Damn, that is.
But
I would love to know what other people think. I want to know the guys that would actually say that marriage can survive long term without sex. What are you doing to fill that void of that intimacy? Are you going out on dates all day? Are you playing around the house? Are y'all both chasing a career together? Are y'all staying busy as far as like working? Like, nah, I'm trying to listen. I'm really like, I'm trying to rack my brain around. So y'all work all day, y'all come home, y'all lay in the bed, y'all kiss each other and go to sleep, and y'all can do that for a very long time without any intimacy. I don't see, and then still have the marriage survive. I don't think so.
But I think a woman probably a cut out of it first before a man would.
What do you mean?
A woman wouldn't think about having to have it long term versus a man. And
you said a woman wouldn't want to have it.
They'll probably think like they don't need to have like being intimate for a very long time in order for like their marriage to survive. But a man would think so.
Yeah. I think it's more so. This question is more so definitely portrayed to the guys than the girls, because girls aren't like, they're not the ones that's really chasing the guys, and they're not doing it for like lust. They're looking for that security, that future. So it's a whole bunch of other things outside of that guy has to bring anyway in order for them to be attracted to them. But guys initially, they're mostly attracted to the woman because of the fact that, she looks good and I might be able to sleep with her. And that's just like the majority. That's what they're thinking. So once they get that, I think they want to continue to get that. They're not going to get it one time and be like, oh, she's mine now, I'm going to marry her, we're going to be together forever. Because True. It's like, well, now that we're not doing it anymore, it's like, does she even love me no more? Is she giving it to somebody else? Like, what's going on? And then you just start, I don't know. Yeah, for guys, it'll definitely be harder, man. That's like.
So to go one step further, do you think that if your spouse is not being intimate with you, do you think that a man will start like going out and trying to find it somewhere else if he thinks like their marriage is not going to survive? Because that's one of the key components.
Yeah,
of being close with your spouse.
I do. I think that a man would definitely start to go look for somewhere else. Yeah, he'll definitely start to go look. Shit, even if you're giving it to him, he might go look for it somewhere else. It's
True.
But that would be more so like, let's just say if you giving it to him, it's 50-50, 40 sometimes on the low end, 60 on the high end, that he'll go out and try to find it somewhere else. If somebody, either not even him finding it, but if somebody throws it at him, he'll probably take it. But if he knows for a fact that he's not getting it, I guarantee you, he definitely on a hunt, man. He's a predator. That's what he's, and not a predator in a bad way. I'm just saying like a lion type of predator. Like he's gonna go on the hunt. He's gonna look for somebody else, another woman that's just giving him that. He ain't gonna leave you though. Don't get that twisted. He ain't gonna leave you, but he definitely gonna go get it somewhere else. Hey, but here's the thing: if you weren't giving it to him and he was to get it from somebody else, and he's still coming home happy and hanging with you, and that he's still jolly and all of that, would you be upset about that?
Yeah,
I was gonna say that was a question. I didn't know if you.
Oh, my bad. My brother was calling and I got distracted a little bit. I think I would be upset, but then you'll have to sit back and look like, well, if I'm not giving it to him, then how can I really be mad that he go out and get it from somebody else?
Right. I mean, and like I said, he's still coming home to you. He'll still sleep in the bed with you.
No, I didn't say that. I'll accept it. No. Because I think that'd be a little bit like cheating. But I'm saying if two people are in a relationship and you just start like cutting it off from him, then you really can't get mad when he goes looking somewhere else for it. But if he's just like blatantly going out, doing it with somebody else or whatever, then yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah. If he's going out and doing it with someone else, yeah, of course, I understand that. That's an issue. But if, like you said, if he's not getting it at home and he goes out and get it somewhere else, and then he comes home still, and then he still comes home to you, we still go out, we still cuddle, you don't even know. It's not that you found out, you don't even know. But you might be in your head, you might be wondering like,
yeah, he
like the first few days, the first few weeks, he wasn't getting it. He was a little upset. Now all of a sudden, he's always happy. He want to go out. He's hugging on me. He's okay with just kissing me, and that's it. He don't even try to be intimate or try to play into it or none of that. Like, you might think that he might be doing something, but if he's still keeping you happy and all of that, that's what I'm saying. Would you have an issue with that? Well, you wouldn't know, so I guess in a sense, yeah, you wouldn't have an issue with it unless you found out. But if you found out, you can't be, just like you said, I don't think you can be mad because you weren't giving it to him anyway. So if he found it somewhere else and that's all he's doing, then that's different. But if he's like spending his time out and not coming home anymore, and this is like in a marriage, we're not talking like boyfriend girlfriend. He's spending his time out and he's like, his more focus is outside of the house than inside of the house, then I would see where the issue would probably lie into that. So, yeah, marriage won't survive though. That's my opinion. You think so too?
Yeah, I think it wouldn't survive.
Yeah, it definitely wouldn't survive. It's over for that one. Just throw the whole marriage away. Just throw it all away. All right, so final question. All right. So the final question is: should major life decisions be made with extended family input? For me, that one is very easy. And this is as far as a marriage. So if anything was to happen to my spouse, or it doesn't even have to be anything tragic. It could be like moving, it could be career changes or whatever. I don't think the input of extended family really matters. Because your household, your domain comes first, and the people that have lived there, like if you were living with maybe a mother-in-law, father-in-law, then their input matters because they're living in the house with you. They care for the kids, they care for you, they take care of the house, they do all of those things. So any decisions you make within that household, whoever lives there has an opinion. But when they say extended, we talking maybe like mother-in-law, brothers, sisters, they're all on the outside. They don't live with you. So I think that their input doesn't matter, whether it be something medical for your spouse, or it can just be anything from like, we want to put our kids in charter school, or we want to move to a different location, or anything like that. I don't think that their input matters. That's my opinion.
I can agree with you. I don't think that extended family members should have some type of input unless, like, maybe like you said, they're living in your household. The only way I would seek a extended family member input would be if it was like a medical situation, life or death. But I wouldn't seek the input of everybody that's in the extended family. I would more so just stick to your mother, father, if either one of them was like alive. But at the end of the day, if I'm going to make the final decision for my spouse.
Okay. All right. Well, that one was kind of easy because we both kind of agree to that one. I don't think. Yeah, I think it more so goes between the husband and the wife to make the decisions, whether it be for the kids or anything like that, than anyone else. Like they can be heard, or I can listen, or I don't know how it goes. I can listen to your opinion, but it won't.
You
be
can listen
heard,
to their opinion, but at the end of the day, you're gonna make the
you know.
final decision.
Yeah.
But anything that's inside of your household, I don't think you need to seek approval from outside family members to figure out what you're doing is right or not.
Right. Yeah, I'm 100% with that. I totally agree. 100%. And those are my 3 questions for today's debate now, right? Because I'm a little sneaky little fellow, right? So, before there were some questions that I was asking for the last episode, the third episode before, that I never really got to doing. It's only 17 minutes in. We still got about a good 12 minutes to go. So I actually wanted to ask you these questions too. And you kind of tell me what you think. And we just kind of go from there. Is that okay?
Oh, man. He trying to set me up.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, let's do this real quick. Now, I do have some people that actually did respond to it. I'll ask the questions first. And then I'll kind of give you an answer from some of the people that had the comments. I actually only have one person that actually had a comment. I had my homie Jet Blizzy that was a part of it also, but he was actually responding while I was live, and I didn't get a chance to see it. But I have also somebody else named Rachel M. That we're just gonna call her Rachel M. And she actually responded to them. She actually responded to the second one and the third one, but we'll get to that. The first one, she didn't really know anything about that, so we're going to leave that one alone, and then we'll come back. So the first question was, why are female body standards constantly under scrutiny in media, but dad bods in men are celebrated? Do you think that's... Do you want me to start that one?
Yeah, you can start that one.
Okay, all right. So with this question, I'm conflicted because I think it's actually the other way around. I think female body standards are not scrutinized. I think it's the whole movement is love your curves. girl, you can be how you want to be. You won't have to change for nobody. You can do whatever you want, yada, yada, yada. But the guys, on the other hand, are the ones that's being scrutinized like, damn, you a fat ass. Like, what about that? This was when the Chiefs won. When 50 Cent did the halftime show, and he did when he had first came out, and he did the scene where he was upside down hanging in the gym room with M and Dr. Dre, and he was husky, and this time when he did it, he was a little pudgy, and then the whole media was going off on him saying that he's too fat and he's unhealthy and all this other shit. And this nigga still look, he okay. Granted, he doesn't have all the cuts that he had before, but he still look healthy. He still look husky and everything. He still look like he kind of maintaining his weight, even though he kind of got a little pudgy. Not even fat. Like, he just got a little loose. Let's just say that. So, and then you have women like Lizzo. How many people walking around saying Lizzo fat?
A lot of people was walking around saying she was fat in the beginning, and then as soon as she started working on herself, I think people accepted it more. They loved her, but I think it was more so because of her musical talent playing the flute. But when she wore certain outfits, people did scrutinize her.
Yeah, well,
because of her size.
Well, here's the thing. You're a big girl trying to dress like a skinny girl.
No,
that's
she
where you
wasn't
fucked
a
up
big
at.
girl trying to dress like a skinny girl. She had on
the
outfits.
Lizzo now is a little different, but Lizzo was definitely,
she's skinny, and that's what most people accept in the media, and what they think the standard ideal woman should look like.
But do you, all right? So do you think there should be a standard though, for both men and women? Do you think there should be like because everybody, I understand. Listen, everybody's different. We're all not going to be the same. But when you go to school, you don't be like, oh, this kid, because these kids are smarter than these kids, or these kids are normal and this kid is special ed. If he gets an F, we're going to automatically pass him. And and we'll hold the standards. We don't hold the same standard to the kids that are smart. So there is like a set standard to be like, all right, if you get a C, you're good. Anything under that, like in college, if you get a C for certain classes, you're good. Anything under that you might get, it might be an automatic fail for you. You can't pass. And that goes for everybody, whether you smart or dumb. So there is standards for like grades and schooling and maybe how you carry yourself in society and all of that. So do you think we should have a standard for like body wise?
No, because everybody is not born with the same shape. Whether you're male or female. I know people who were skinny when they were little kids, and then as they got older, they got a little weight on them. There's some people who was fat when they was kids, and as they got older, they started getting skinny. But the problem is the media makes people think that you have to look and even dress a certain way in order to be accepted. Like, yeah, a woman could go out and have on a skimpy dress or be dressed provocative, and she may get accepted or she may be scrutinized based off of what she has on. But if a man goes and do that, then he's labeled as, I don't want to really say it, but he's labeled as having female traits if he's dressed a certain way. Unless he really has on like suit and tie, then they're thinking like, oh yeah, he looks nice. But I think it's the media really puts that standard out there that men and women have to look a certain way and dress a certain way and basically kind of be accepted or celebrated.
All right. I think there should be a standard. Like I said, I understand everybody's different. Because I don't want to ask you this question yet, but I'll kind of give you my my explanation as to why I say that. I think there should be a standard for body weight for everybody across the board. So that way we know what to strive for. And it's not even about, because I understand some people get bigger when they don't want to. Some people get skinnier when they don't want to and all of that. But I think that, is it possible to, let's just say somebody that's fat, somebody you started off skinny, you got a little bit bigger when you got older. Do you think that they can bring that weight down? Just a quick
Yes.
question. Okay, all right. So because if you think that they can bring that weight down, so all you need to do is have exercise. Now, the only thing with the media is somewhat right and somewhat wrong because I think that people's mindsets kind of look at it. They look at it in a way that that is negative. But I think having those standards is pretty much saying like, hey, listen, don't be fucking lazy. Get off your ass and work out. The same way you might put into something that you might like. You might love to build cars. You might love to work. You might love to make money. You might love to whatever it is that you love to do. You constantly push and push and push and push to get that done. So why not have a standard to be like, all right, well, listen, we know you're unhealthy a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You might be the healthiest person, you might be big, but it's going to weigh down on you as you get older. So why not get into that habit of exercising, helping that body, that heart muscle get stronger, pumping that blood through, getting that oxygen and slimming down a little bit and just being able to handle yourself a lot better, eat a little bit better. Like it's just, I think the standard is good to have a standard because then it holds everybody accountable for their laziness. You know, I think we should be pushing and striving for all humans to be a lot better in everything, whether it be physically, mentally, financially, spiritually, religiously. Like we should be pushing. It should be a standard to be like, hey, this is how we should all be acting. You know, not to say that everybody's going to be perfect and fall in line with that, but if you know what to strive for, you can go above the bar. And if you're under the bar, you be like, hey, well, I know I have things to work on. I mean, but if we're sitting, and that's why with the question and all of that, when they say that, I think that females don't get scrutinized enough with that. I think we just tell them, like, love who you are, be who you are. You ain't got to change. What? Not even body-wise, just relationship-wise. Like, it ain't your fault. It's that man's fault. Because he can't see that you a queen. He can't see, even though you acting ignorant, you be cussing, you be doing all this crazy wild shit. You talking about something, you want to bust his tires, and all he did was just look at somebody else. Like, you don't have to change, girl. You find the way you are. You ain't got to do nothing different. You just be who you are, and you going to find a man that's going to be like that. But we don't tell guys that at all. Guys got to, listen, you too skinny, you too fat. Get your ass in the gym. You ain't got no money. You too fucking broke. Get your ass a job and get your shit together. Like, we make sure we tell men, like, yo, listen, this is the standard of being at least a provider and a protector. This is what you need to do. If you ain't doing this and you under that bar, you messing up. And if you over that bar, most people will get cocky. But at least you above that standard where you need is going to be able to make you more attractive to other, to the opposite sex and all of that. So, I mean, that's my opinion. I really do think, based on the question alone, I think that it's the other way around, that men get more scrutiny than women get more scrutiny. You know, that's my opinion, but you know, it could be wrong. I would love to hear other people's mindset to that. I would love to hear that, but you know, that's just from what I think, you know.
I can agree with certain stuff that you were saying.
We agree to disagree. Let's agree to disagree. You know, we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. You guys just jump into the comments and kind of let us know what's going on and what y'all thoughts on that. All right, so second one. Damn, we spent a good amount of time on that. Let me see how much time we got left. And we got like 2 minutes, but we spent a good amount of time on that. I'll do one more for you. Like I said, this one was one that should have been done already. I should have questioned this, but I didn't get a chance to. All right, so the other one is, why is emotional vulnerability in women seen as a strength, but in men as a weakness? I think there's a good reason behind that. My reasoning behind that is that society, people, human beings, genetics, believe already that women are already emotional. So that's just to me, that's just a woman acting within her nature. Whether it be her, like, she don't got to spaz out and go crazy, but her being able to express her emotions, talk about it, discuss certain things, even if she's angry and she's showing that side of her, it's okay, because it's like, well, she's a woman. She's supposed to be emotional. You know, that's her nature. She's supposed to be like that because she's the caregiver. She's the one that has to be able to show love and teach the kids how to be respectful, or how to act certain ways when they're young and all of that. So with men, on the other hand, because a man is the leader, it's looked at as weakness because you are responsible for a household. you're responsible for the people that are following you. You know, your wife, your kids. Let's just say your parents are older, your parents. And if you're the oldest child, your siblings. They're all following you and they're looking at you to be the leader. Not to say you can't be emotional about certain things, but you have to learn how to control your emotions. So if you're crying because you ain't able to pay your bills, or you're getting mad because somebody says something to you that upsets you, or shit like that, and you're crying about it, those people that are following you are going to look at you like, he might not be the person I want to follow, because in times of peril, or when it like really matters for you to be like emotionally intact, to be like, all right, there's a problem, I need to be able to solve it, I need to have a solution behind it. It's like, this motherfucker's crying, he's doing this, he's doing that. Yeah, we don't really want to follow him. That weakness, that sign of that emotional vulnerability makes the people behind you not respect you more. And that's what I think. Even in a relationship, I think if a woman is seeing a man crying about certain things that maybe he's going to have to get off his ass and do anyway, I think it turns her off. Like, that's my opinion. What you think?
I agree with you on that. I think because society and growing up, our parents most of the time was telling us that the men are supposed to be the leaders. They're in charge of like the household. They're supposed to be strong. The women are the caregivers. They're the nurturers. So when women are vulnerable, it's okay for them to do that, but it's not okay for a man to show his vulnerability. But I think sometimes now men can show that they're vulnerable and still be able to be strong. Also, I think this whole independent woman thing that women have, it they don't, once they see that they're like independent, they can kind of do for themselves and stuff like that, they don't want no man that's coming in showing that he's weak.
Okay. I mean, I think with that one we kind of both agree that a weak man is not the best man. We don't want somebody that's that everybody's gonna look at. Like I said, the man is the follower. So when you're doing you just have to have a big set of emotional intelligence. If you don't have that, it kind of destroys your image in the eye of the people that are following you and they're watching you. So you definitely have to be on point. If not, you will be SOL. You will be shit out of luck, because the people that are following you they're not gonna respect you. They're not gonna want to follow you, and they're gonna look at you as being weak. I think it's a good standard to have. I think that, I don't know. It seems like in 2025, when we live in, it just seems like all these questions were all answered back in the day. Back when before you had all this technology, all this shit that's going on, like a lot of these questions were answered back in the day. But it's like now we're trying to revisit these questions because we are trying to revamp the way definitions are, or we're trying to revamp because we have new technologies, and there's more things that are accessible to people, both men and women and kids and all of that. So now we're trying to go back and we're trying to redefine these things, and all it's going to do is just make us more confused, because there's no need to. These definitions and all these things have already been answered for us a long time ago by our ancestors, a long time ago by our actions, their actions, their genomes, their genetics, the way that they move, the way that they carry themselves, and all of that. So for it to be like this now is just it's just weird. So, I mean, it is what it is, though. But listen, I ain't going to ask you the other question. We definitely ran on that first question a very long time. I just appreciate you for being here. I am going to post this up on my YouTube, and I'm gonna push this on my Rumble, and let's see what people say. Let's see, if somebody else would want to become a special guest on here. I would love for that to be the case, man. I appreciate you for being here and tuning in, and yeah, I appreciate that. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me. I'll probably come back another day. I was a little nervous today coming on, but next time I'll probably show you guys my face.
Do you feel a
And
little
we
better?
have a
Do you
next
feel a little
debate.
better? Do you feel a little better?
Yeah,
Being
it was good. It was a good
got a little more
debate.
comfortable.
A little more comfortable. I'll probably be a little more relaxed coming back into the next debate. But yeah, make sure you follow all his pages that's at the bottom of the screen. Show him your love, show him your support. It's a good dude right here.
I did. I appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Stay blessed, stay humble, stay focused. Keep rocking, keep doing your thing. I appreciate y'all. Peace.